The wind howled across the sharp cliffs. Snowflakes cut his skin like tiny blades. A young traveler named Ian had gone hiking into the northern mountains. What started as an adventure soon turned into a nightmare. The path he had chosen disappeared under a fresh blanket of snow. The compass in his hand stopped working. His phone had no signal, only a fading battery icon mocking him. The sun dipped behind the peaks and shadows grew longer. Cold crept into his bones as darkness swallowed the valley. Ian realized he was completely alone. He had no tent, no firewood, and only half a bottle of water left. The silence of the mountains was broken only by the roar of distant avalanches. Every sound echoed like a warning. Fear started crawling into his heart, but he kept walking, hoping to find a trail or a sign of life. His footprints in the snow began to vanish behind him. The storm was erasing every trace of his existence. One wrong step could mean falling into the endless abyss. Ian whispered to himself, "I must survive. I cannot give up here." And with that, his battle against the mountain had truly begun. Night fell like a heavy curtain over the mountains. The temperature dropped below freezing. Ian's breath turned into mist with every exhale. His hands were numb, and his legs shook with exhaustion. The snow beneath his boots crunched like brittle glass. Suddenly, he heard a distant howl. It was not the wind. It was something alive. Wolves. His heart pounded like a drum in his chest. He picked up a broken branch from the ground. It was his only weapon. The howls grew louder, closer, circling him. Shadows moved in the dark, glowing eyes watching from the trees. Ian lit a small piece of cloth with his lighter. The tiny flame flickered, weak but enough to hold the predators back. He waved the fire in desperation, praying they would retreat. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the wolves disappeared into the blackness of the forest. Ian collapsed to his knees, shivering, whispering a prayer of gratitude. But his struggle was far from over. The flame died, leaving him in complete darkness again, and above him, the snow clouds thickened, promising a deadly storm. The storm arrived like a monster from the sky. Snow poured down in furious waves. The wind screamed so loud it felt like the mountain itself was alive. Ian wrapped his arms around his body, trying to shield himself, but the cold pierced through his clothes like knives. His boots sank, deeper with every step. He could no longer see the path ahead. Every direction looked the same, endless white, endless death. His throat burned with thirst, but the last drop of water was gone. He scooped a handful of snow and swallowed it. It numbed his mouth but kept him alive for one more moment. The storm blinded him, forcing him to crawl on his knees. He stumbled over a rock and fell face first into the snow. For a moment, he thought of giving up, to just close his eyes and let the mountain take him. But then, a faint sound reached his ears, a sound that didn't belong to the storm. It was the trickle of water, a stream. With the last ounce of strength, Ian dragged himself toward the sound. He found a narrow frozen stream hidden under the snow. Breaking the thin ice with his bleeding hands, he drank desperately. The icy water burned his throat, but gave him hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, he could survive the night. The night grew darker, and silence returned to the mountain. Only the sound of the stream kept Ian company. His body ached from exhaustion. His clothes were torn, soaked, and frozen stiff. He knew if he stayed in the open, he would not survive until morning, so he searched for shelter. His weak legs dragged him through the snow. Minutes felt like hours. Then, through the veil of snow, he saw a shadow, a cave. Ian stumbled toward it, falling again and again until he finally reached the entrance. Inside, the cave was damp and cold, but at least it was protection from the storm. He gathered dry sticks from the cave floor, trembling, and lit them with his lighter. A small fire flickered to life. The warmth touched his skin like a miracle. For the first time since he was lost, Ian felt a little safe, but safety was only an illusion. The cave echoed with strange sounds, dripping water, cracking rocks, and then a low growl. His eyes widened in horror. He was not alone in the cave. From the shadows, the glowing eyes stared back at him. The glowing eyes came closer. Ian's heart pounded like a drum. The fire revealed a massive wild wolf, its fur silver under the flickering flames. The beast snarled, teeth sharp and deadly. Ian grabbed a burning stick from the fire. He waved it with shaking hands, shouting, trying to appear strong. The wolf hesitated, then lunged forward. Ian thrust the fire toward its face. The flames scared it, forcing the wolf to retreat deeper into the cave. But Ian knew it would return. He couldn't stay here forever. As dawn broke, he left the cave and climbed higher. The snow had stopped, but the mountain was still merciless. His lips were cracked. his feet bleeding, yet he kept moving. Hours passed like centuries. Then he saw it, a trail of footprints, not his own. Someone had been here before. With the last of his strength, he followed the trail, and then, in the distance, he saw a helicopter. Rescuers. He waved his arms, screaming with everything left inside him. The helicopter circled and descended. For the first time, tears rolled down his frozen face, tears of survival. Hands pulled him up, wrapping him in warmth and blankets. Ian looked back at the mountain one last time. It had tried to break him, but he was alive. He had won.